Hi everyone, my name is Kira May, and I'm going to be sharing my poster comparing the two magazines, Cosmopolitan and Men's Health. I chose both of these magazines specifically because of their covers. Cosmopolitan had a picture of Camila Mendes from Riverdale on it, and Men's Health had a photo of Mark Wahlberg on it. I was instantly drawn to Cosmopolitan because of the three slogans I noticed right away: love and lust, total body sex, and fragrances that'll make you frisky. I instantly knew this magazine would most likely uphold my previous opinions on gender inequality in advertisements. When I saw Mark Wahlberg on the cover of Men's Health, I instantly thought of the advertisement he did for Calvin Klein in 1992, which was sexualized to say the least. I included one of the photos from that photo shoot here, but this was one of the more G-rated photos. I personally feel like there is extremely prevalent gender inequality in the media, especially in advertisements, regardless of the products being sold or the company's actual purpose. It is very common to see stereotyping of genders and even of races. I try to mostly not pay attention to advertisements or what they say, but as noted many times throughout the module in this class, even with trying to avoid them, they're everywhere and they have their effect. I think there is a strong use of sexualization in advertising as well as this influence of perfection. When I actually sat down and looked at each individual advertisement, I was appalled and realized this advertisement issue is much bigger than we give it credit for. It was very clear from the beginning that each of these magazines are for a gender-specific target audience. There was a heavy focus in Cosmopolitan influencing women's appearances and reproduction. It seemed as though almost every advertisement for makeup was promoting this idea of being transformed into someone else. There was a very specific ad with Ayesha Curry that said, "I am what I make up." And I understand that it was a mascara advertisement, so it was meant to be a play on the words makeup, but it gives the impression that a woman's value is based on their outer beauty. For young girls who see this and cannot fully understand the message, it automatically introduces the idea of beauty standards that they need to grow up and meet. I also noticed the countless advertisements for period products and birth control. I found this to be extremely surprising considering the prevalence of the slut stigma in our society. There is a complete double standard in what is accepted for men and women's expression of sexuality. That being said, I also noticed most of the advertisements in Men's Health magazine were about some aspect of working out or being buff. It was like looking at protein ad after protein ad after protein ad. Most of the advertisements showed extremely fit men shirtless doing some sort of physical activity. But again, I noticed in the advertisement for pistachios, there was an extremely muscular, shirtless man, which I found to be pretty ridiculous considering pistachios have nothing to do with exercise or being buff. These two advertisements that I pasted together in this clip really made me realize the emphasis society puts on masculinity being defined by body size. One of the advertisements said greatness is earned, and the other one said gold standard zone. They were both advertisements for protein powder, but it gives off this message as though the only way to be a good man is to be extremely chiseled. It was hard for me to continue to analyze these advertisements because I realized some deep-rooted problems our American culture has that most of us don't even address. Both of these magazines showed the type of gender inequalities I knew surrounded advertisements, but I didn't notice until doing this comparison that most of the ads had white people in them. There was an overwhelming presence of the white race and a strong lacking of any other races. Most of the advertisements that did have other races included were athletes or celebrities. In my opinion, this is something that I feel would be a crucial part of advertising I want changed. Our American culture is made up of so many other races and ethnicities, and the lack of representation is just unacceptable. After reviewing these advertisements, I think society needs to reconsider the values expressed in the media. There are so many things that need to change to stop gender inequality and stereotyping. The influence these advertisements and so many others just like this have, I believe, will have a harmful impact on the younger generations who grew up engulfed by these words. We need to change societal norms for the messages that we send out to young boys and girls about where their value comes from. It's no surprise that we have many dangerous diseases like eating disorders and depression on the rise when children grow up comparing themselves to these advertisements.